Well, hello there, and welcome back into the Cookies podcast, where the only thing you need to know is that the S stands for sports. And today we have the nice coaching carousel that has been spinning round and round, that is the NFL. Coaches were fired after 1 year, 3 years, 2 years.
Not even a year.
A whole 13 games in some cases.
It wasn't even like, oh my god, 13 games is not enough games, man.
Bad thing is, he had more wins than their last coach. Their last coach had, a better projected record than the last coach. He had 4 wins in 48 games, something like that.
Wow, Jags are a fucking disaster area. But that's besides the point. Let's talk about coaches. There's been some signings since last we spoke. Who's been signed, Robert?
Well, the Raiders signed Josh McDaniels.
That's sad.
The Jags signed Doug Peterson. That's good.
That was super good. I super actually like that move, Jags.
The Broncos signed Nathaniel Hackett.
This move's clearly just a stretch for Aaron Rodgers.
If you get him, hey, great move. If you don't get him,
we'll see how you're. He was the Packers' offensive coordinator.
So they're just gonna have a really good offense out of nowhere, and maybe their defense will stay the defense that they had.
It's gonna be interesting.
The Vikings signed Kevin O'Connell.
What the fuck happened, guys?
You had Jim Harbaugh.
And you sent him back to Michigan. Why?
He just was like, I kind of want to rebuild, and you said no. You believed in...
Are they believing in Kirk Cousins? Is that why they didn't sign him?
Oh, wow. Is Kirk Cousins just going to stay?
Is that what it was? Jim Harbaugh was like, I want to get rid of Kirk Cousins. And I'm like, no.
Eberflus.
Good for you, Bears. But you're cute in the corner over there doing your thing.
If he builds up Justin Fields nice, then you know what? Good job. I'm proud of you. If he gets fired after 1 year, he just sounds like he's going to get fired after 1 year.
Dude, I'm not going to be wanting to say Eberflus for the next 10 years. I'm sorry. Like Bruce Arians, I'll say Bruce Arians for the next 10 years. You know what I mean? There's it might not actually matter, but I think the name of the coach matters to a degree.
I don't know. What if Eberflus brings it out of his ass? Him and Justin Fields. Then the Giants have Brian Daboll.
Man, they're also a dumpster fire. Let's see if they can fix it. I doubt it.
I don't know. They're part of the getting sued by Brian Flores.
Brian Flores is coming with a vengeance for all you motherfuckers that denied him his job.
No, it's not even that. It was that they had another coach already hired before his meeting, and they just met with him after that.
I heard there was some racial stuff.
Yeah, because the only reason they met with him was because of the Rooney Rule. Because the Rooney Rule is you have to meet with give 2 black coaches meetings, so diversity. But there's only 1 black coach that's a head coach.
Let's talk about the Raiders one first, right?
Why would you go to the Bill Belichick coaching tree that hasn't worked except for Brian Flores, who got fired?
Not one of the coaches are still coaching from that tree. That guy with the beard and the Lions that nobody even remembers the fucking name of?
They go and be offensive coordinators and defensive coordinators in other places, but they're not head coaches because they can't run a team.
They try to pretend to be Bill Belichick and be a big old dickhead, and he can get away with that because he wins games, but you fuckers don't win any games.
Brian Flores did it.
And where's Brian Flores now?
Hey, that's because he didn't want to tank games. They offered him $100,000 to tank some games, and he said, nah, I'm good. They're like, hey, let's illegally tamper with Tom Brady on a boat. He was like, nah, I'm good. He just didn't want it. He wanted to play by the book, and they didn't let him.
That's so gross. Well,
that's why he's fired.
Josh McDaniels is going to be a terrible signing, and I think it's going to make the Raiders regress for at least a year. I think you guys were so close to being an actual contender, and then this was not the right move.
Dude, if we would have gotten Jim Harbaugh...
If y'all would have got Brian Flores, if you got anybody... Josh
If
McDaniels,
we would have gotten Doug Peterson...
Oh, dude, Doug Peterson, no questions. Bring that team to the playoffs. Speaking of which, Doug Peterson and the Jaguars. This one, I think, is the best signing yet of the offseason.
I think the Jags are going to make the playoffs next year.
I think their division... I don't think the Colts are going to make the playoffs, for reference, next year. And the Titans, man, we'll see who the new quarterback is. If they keep Ryan Tannehill, I don't even care. I mean, you have MVP Josh Allen. You have MVP Derrick Henry, but how much is a running back really going to do for you?
I just think the Jags, they're going to come back with a good coaching, someone who's going to train up Trevor Lawrence, And you're going to see why he was the first overall pick this year.
Oh my god, if they get a good receiver in the offseason, please get a good receiver in the offseason.
Get Allen Robinson. Bring him back.
I don't think that's going to happen.
Probably not. He doesn't want to go back, but maybe he likes Doug Peterson.
You never know what happens. You guys can have Juju down there in Jacksonville.
Yeah, you give him Juju?
If we can get Allen Robinson, yeah.
Yeah.
I want Allen Robinson. Allen Robinson, Deontay Johnson, and Chase Claypool sound like a fun receiving core. I'm sorry.
Fair point. The Broncos got Nathaniel Hackett.
This one's kind of gross for me, honestly.
It's literally just a ploy for Aaron Rodgers. Everyone knows it, and you know what? They had a great relationship, so if it works,
it's just the Broncos. The Broncos are so icky with the way they do things. You know, this is one of those icky Bronco moves.
Yeah.
Yeah, like trading away Brock Osweiler to the Texans. This is just an icky Broncos move. It's very deliberate of why they're doing what they're doing. It's not. I don't know. It feels almost backhanded, being like, we signed this guy, call him Aaron Rodgers. I just don't like it. And they're gonna sign the Packers' old offensive line coordinator to be their offensive coordinator. I don't like it. I don't like any of it. I don't believe in the Broncos next year, to be frank. I think they're gonna do worse than they did this year.
I also think they're gonna do worse than they did this year, but I always say that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then we got the Vikings. I didn't like this whole situation either. I don't know what happens.
I feel like they only hired him because they believe in Kirk Cousins, so I think they're going to be exactly where they are this year, just right out of the playoffs. Slightly out of the playoffs, though.
If they had signed Jim Harbaugh, whichever Harbaugh it is, I literally don't remember which one's Jim and which one's John.
John's the one on the Ravens. Jim's the one back at Michigan.
I think if they signed him, if they signed Harbaugh to the Vikings,
they would have rebuilt for you.
They would have won the division.
I don't think they would have won the division this year. I feel like Kirk Cousins gone. They would be rebuilding right now. They would be like 5-12.
I think they'll rebuild, but
and then they'd come back.
Jim Harbaugh, whatever Harbaugh, rebuilt the 49ers in like less than a year.
I don't know, the 49ers. Every time that team just has something different.
That team was 5-12. He came to them. He really pretty much got rid of Alex Smith right away and putting what's his face, Colin Kaepernick.
Ooh.
Like he went to the 49ers, put in Colin Kaepernick, rebuilt their defense, and focused them in, and they went like 11-12 and whatever, 12-4.
Yeah, but the 49ers are just a team that
they always have hidden talent.
They always just kind of do something. They get like the right head coaches, they get the right players in late rounds, and then they're just always kind of there.
They're always just missing like one piece that matters.
But they can just make the playoffs and go on random runs to the Super Bowl.
You know, they definitely are one of those teams that get carried by momentum. You know,
dude, they hop on the momentum train, and this time it was Deebo Samuels.
Yeah, and who killed that train but Jimmy G?
It's fine. Get Trey Lance, run some Trey Lance, Deebo Samuel options. Doesn't matter who's pitching the ball and who's running the ball. They're both so fast.
And then the Bears signed Matt, whatever his fucking name is.
Eberflus.
That guy. Also icky, gross.
Yeah. Why? Why do you think that about Matt Eberflus?
I think the Lions are going to steal that division next year. I think everybody else just fucked up so bad.
Wow. I can also see the Lions stealing that division. Not even. I don't think it's stealing at that point.
I think it's just everybody jumped out of the way.
Thinking.
It was more like Lions all sitting there all sad in the background being like, we're the bad Lions, and everybody just runs away and like, oh, okay, we're the guy now, I guess. I'm sorry.
No, the Lions, they try so hard. They were in every game this season except for a couple when they got blown out by, honestly, not even the best teams in the league. They went out there and fight with the Rams, fight with the Bucks, and then they'd be like, hey, the Eagles, you're like 3-5 right now, and then just get stomped.
The first game of the season, they almost let it come back against the 49ers. That was awesome to watch. They didn't, but it was awesome to watch.
They were fun. They were a fun team to watch.
They beat the Cardinals. Who the fuck thought of that? Look, let's not talk about the Cardinals.
They bit the Cardinals' kneecaps off. Dan Campbell said he wanted kneecaps. He bit off the kneecaps, and they fell off after they played the Lions.
They beat the Packers and kept their second pick. I think if they lost to the Packers, they would have gotten that first overall pick. But like, they didn't care. They want to win. And then the Giants have whatever his name is,
Brian Dable. Honestly, you guys should have hired Brian Flores, but You guys had someone in mind before you even gave him an interview.
And you got Danny Dimes. And who's your GM, guys? Because it's like, what the fuck are you doing, dude?
Hey, you finally decided to fire Joe Judge like 2 years too late.
And then you're going to double down on fucking Danny Dimes.
God. Oh, it's fine. He was the fastest guy to run like 90-something yards 2 years ago. Who doesn't love that?
That's gross. And then you have some teams still without head coach.
Miami, the Saints, and the Texans. Honestly, no one wants to go be the coach of the Saints.
No one wants to go be the coach of the Saints.
There's $70 million in cap, and
they have just a broken team, dude. Like, there's no one else to say it. Drew Brees left, Sean Payton left, and it's hurting out there for New Orleans.
Your highest paid quarterback is Taysom Hill.
Second worst team in the league next year.
Oh yeah, behind the Giants.
Yeah, the Giants. Have fun with that 2023 second overall pick, though.
Hey, you might go get someone good.
Is the quarterback class next year good? Do we know this yet? Is it too early?
I have no clue, but honestly, don't go get a QB. Your QB should be the last thing you get in a rebuild.
Well, they have a good defense, and they have Alvin Kamara and
yeah,
Michael
but they're
Thomas.
going to lose some pieces on the defense. They're going to lose some pieces on the offense.
Fair enough.
Like, they're just going to have too many holes on every side of the ball. Special teams included, because I feel like Taysom Hill's not going to be there. That it's just going to be not a good year to be a Saints fan.
And then the Texans. I think the lead guy for this right now is Josh McCown.
Josh McCown.
He's the guy who's the front runner for the Texans head coaching job.
Texans, if it's such a bear market and you see this video, hire me.
You got any credentials? Here's the play he drew.
I rebuild teams in Madden all the time.
Oh my god.
I will trade Deshaun Watson. Miami, don't hire me. I wouldn't want to work there. You also need a coach. But like, I wouldn't want to be me.
I haven't heard any news about the Dolphins yet.
Cause the Dolphins are dealing with being sued right now. They're getting very heavily sued. Hey,
where do you think who's gonna go to Miami? Tell us.
Have
who you
fun
think.
with Tua.
Who's gonna win the AFC South next year? If you don't know who the AFC South is, it's these four teams.
It is gonna be this team.
Which team is that?
Dude, you know which team this is.
Well,
thanks for watching. Like and
hit
subscribe.
the like. Subscribe.